finally my first ever PvP open field gameplay with my new alliance, which is City of Moria, right? We are having statue fight versus Locke and Wood, and fortunately or unfortunately, you can see the amount of legions around the battlefield, right? This is the difference between the fighting alliance and the alliance who is trying to survive, right? So yeah, this is the first fight. I have been waiting for this moment for more than 1 month, simply because it was already like City of Moria was during the KVK when I migrated here. So basically it means that I had to wait until they would finish their KVK, and then Home Kingdom 2-week period, and then finally this is my first fight of this season and with this alliance, right? Unfortunately, of course, I expected way more opponents in order for us to fight, but yeah, it is what it is, right? We can always show up from our side. If your opponent is not showing up, that's basically not your problem, right? Because yeah, this is how Call of Dragons, and not only Call of Dragons in general, almost every single kingdom builder game works. In order for you to have fun, you should have both sides on the battlefield fighting for merits, fighting for points in this particular situation, and so on, right? So yeah, I hope during the KVK with DYH there will be more active alliance in terms of open field PvP, because of course I want to share some more live streams, some more exciting moments, and let's see how well we are going to perform in this KVK with some stronger opponents than we had before, right? As always, I'm Archer player, Archer main, who is trying to play with archers most of the time, basically 99% of the time. I'm playing with my archers, right? Last KVK, I had 36 million merits, which is a pretty nice achievement for my account. But of course, we are going to try to accomplish even more, right? Because every single KVK, when we complete our target and our goal, we are going to set up even higher. And this KVK, I'm expecting at least 40 million merits, which is achievable because finally I have close to 3 million archer troops, and of course I'm going to utilize them with my 5 archer marches. So far in this statue we are only able to use 1 march, and here we are using Maggrat and Zayda with Shadow Manticore and Gilded Crossbow. Of course, I expected that our opponents would be way more than they are right now, and I expected that my Maggrat and Zayda would die, and then I would switch to Ruby and Kaelan. But however I see this kind of fight, I believe our Maggrat and Zayda will be alive until end of the video, right? So this is one bad thing regarding the statue fights, where you can only basically use 1 march, unfortunately. But let's hope that our opponents will wake up, and finally we are going to try to have some fun, because we have been waiting for a while for this moment, right? Finally, some damage to the backline, which is always welcome in our moments. And yeah, let's see if I will be able to touch some mages. Yep, nope, that's enough, right? This is how in general archer gameplay happens. Sometimes a window opens when you are able to deal damage to mages, and that window might be for only 5 seconds, right? And these 5 seconds with your archers are enough for you to get 10k, 20k merits by hitting mages for like couple of seconds. So every single second which you are hitting mage players, trust me, you are getting positive traits, you are getting a lot of merit. So don't underestimate those 5 seconds. Whenever you are having space and defense and time to actually try to deal damage to your opponents, especially to mage players. Of course, archers are also a pretty nice target for archers. At least you are in range, at least you are not getting targeted a lot, but for sure you should always try to deal damage to mages, right? But of course, it should not be like a risky attack, right? Like if you are attacking mages and you are getting destroyed, that's not how you should work and play as an archer player. You should always go for mage players when you are safe. That's the biggest criteria which you can actually get. If you are targeting mages and you are basically getting destroyed by other troop types, then you are doing something really, really bad. You should only hit mages when you are feeling safe. Because as I have mentioned, when I was tier 4 player, surviving in Call of Dragons is way more valuable than dealing damage. Longer you're gonna survive around the battlefield, more merits you are going to get at the end of the fight. So you should always remember that surviving should be your number one priority. That's how I have been playing this game, and throughout my old tier 4, most of the time tier 4 gameplay, and finally now tier 5, I have been getting the merits, which was pretty surprising for many offensive players while playing defensively. That's why I always prefer to have defensive stats, defensive mana stones, in general as much defensive attributes as I can actually get. Especially HP bonuses, right? If I was mage, for example, I would have gone for defensive bonuses because mages are having the lowest defense in the game. But for archers, I believe getting as much HP bonuses in the game as possible will be suitable gameplay for you, right? Unfortunately, here we are not having a lot of range. That's why I won't gonna be able to touch these mages, but since we are hitting infantry, at least we are having some target, which is great. And yeah, finally I can see more and more troops from our opponents around the battlefield, which feels great. Let's see if I can deal damage to this mage, which I can, which is absolutely amazing. This is how we are getting merits in this game, right? So yeah, let's try to continue like this. We might get targeted for a couple of seconds, but I'm pretty sure because we have a lot of troops around the battlefield, I should be really unlucky if I will get too much targets, right? So let's see. I will move back from the square, and from the square, since we can get points while you are inside the square, that's all you actually need, right? That's all you actually need. And yeah, you can see, right, 29k merits. We were attacking mage player for like couple of seconds, which is good enough in my eyes. Let's continue. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of troops from our opponents around this square. That's why we will just keep playing however we are. And hopefully at the end of the fight, when we're gonna check our points and our merits, we will be happy. We will say that we accomplished what we came for. So yeah, this is the archer gameplay, right? You should be confident in your alliance. If you are not confident in your alliance and you feel like that your alliance won't gonna defend you from the enemy rushes, then unfortunately archer gameplay is not for you, right? Because archer gameplay is basically for the war. Now, in any other game modes for archers, like especially for Abyss, for example, for Roots of War, because map is pretty huge, even some statue fights without alliance and infantry players, unfortunately archer gameplay is not perfect for those. But archer gameplay is amazing for mass PvP, which is war gameplay. When there is a lot of opponents' infantry hero pairs, there is a lot of cavalry running around, but especially infantry, right? Without infantry troop type, unfortunately, it would be almost impossible for archer players to generate merits in this game. So yeah, that's the key, and hopefully here we are going to continue our journey. Plus I forgot to defeat these dwarfs because we have quest here. We actually need to defeat 3 of them. And yeah, sometimes I have actually forgot to defeat these dwarfs, and I did not really manage to accomplish the quest, so hopefully we are going to do it right now. I have no idea why these guys are moving up. Let's see, let's defeat this dwarf. I need for the quest, come on, third one. but I guess we can easily deal damage to this mage. Yeah, nice, nice. Everything is continuing, and we are going to complete the maximum points soon, because maximum points from defeating marchers is basically 6k. So yeah, nice, nice, nice. Finally, they started sending more infantry, right? As I said, like, if there is no infantry, it's hard to actually play with archers. Like, it's almost impossible, because you won't gonna have target. You will be just running around the battlefield without target, and trust me, that's not the perfect place for your gameplay. So yeah, once again, somebody did a blink. Let's just deal damage from here, maybe mage also, because they are stuck, and while they are stuck, of course, you should deal damage right here. Right, we move back. This, like, 5 seconds was enough for us to get at least like 5k merits easily. So yeah, we're gonna move back, because if we're gonna over push, our opponents will stop coming, and of course we want them to come, because without them we won't gonna have fun, there won't gonna be a video. So yeah, let's see. I can see a couple of infantry players also. So nice, nice, nice. We have maximum points from defeating opponents, which is really good. Finally, they started using and sending some blink infantries, but since I can deal damage to these mages, all good, right? All good. I can easily move a little bit up. Yep. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. So I think they don't have much of an infantry players in general. That's why they are just face tanking right now, which is really awkward. It should be awkward for sure. Other than that, yeah, we are doing fine. Of course, when I saw the amount of troops around the battlefield, I understood that it would be an easy win. But since this is the first fight which we have done with the City of Moria Alliance, of course, I wanted to show the amount of activeness we have in the first fights of KVK, and hopefully it will get better and better, right? Hopefully it will get better and better. Let's see, these Garwoods are always the perfect targets. Like, there is a couple of infantry heroes which you want to target. Right now the new infantry is Joren and Elanir. Of course, you should avoid targeting them, because they are dealing a lot of counter-attack damage. And my targets, basically, if I see Garwood, I try to click on Garwood. If I see Goresh and Skogul, that's like second priority. Third priority is Uma and Lake 1, and the last one is Joren. They actually deal a lot of counter-attack damage, and if you are not using healing, then unfortunately I have no idea how you are going to survive the amount of counter-attack damage which new infantry heroes are dealing, right? So be attentive. You might not get hit, but you might get a lot of counter-attack damage towards your heroes, and that's the reason why I always wanted to have a lot of healing on my archers, especially when I was tier 4, because when I was fighting against tier 5 players, I was getting too much counter-attack damage back, and that was my main reasoning why I always wanted to have some heals in my gameplay. But since I got tier 5, I believe this healing gameplay got even better, because, well, I'm getting less counter-attack damage right now, but actually healing makes me survive even longer when I'm tier 5, right? Because I'm more tanky. So my healing strategy actually worked out pretty well, which is really good. And yeah, let's see. I can see some infantries flying around. Let's deal damage. So yeah, I think we will be only able to use one march, and we won't gonna be able to test out some Ruby and Kaelan gameplay, because it will take too much time. Of course, I'm not really going to record video for 1 whole hour for the statue gameplay, but we're gonna try our best. So far we are on a good merits, I think, on Maggrat and Zayda, and let's see how much we can get till the maximum, right? Because points are already there in terms of maximum points. Let's see what we can do. Alright, these are some archers which we can deal damage to. Why not? And already it's like my march is really low, so let's just try to get hit. Try to soak up as much merits as possible with just 59k troops, which is, yeah, nice. We managed to get a lot of merits with just one march of archer gameplay, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. I just wanted to get targeted at this point already. Let's see if they are going to do it. I will try my best to get targeted here. Yep. And yeah, there we go. Let's try to get Ruby and Kaelan, and we will have like a small comparisons. Of course, my Kaelan is not really ready because Kaelan is not awakened. Kaelan is 5253. Ruby is awakened. We have Roaring Rager, which is just level 2, pretty far away from level 5. And we have Windwhistle, which is not yet a 3-star main talent skill. Pretty much long way until this Warped will be finished. If we're gonna compare to Shadow Manticore, you can see how much of a big difference we have in terms of Warped skill set and Warped strengths, right? So we are kinda expecting a lesser merits than Maggrat and Zayda because of having worse Warped and not having Kaelan awakened, not even awakened, like force scale is really important. We should always try to have force scale on Kaelan maxed out, and mine is just 3. So yeah, Ruby and Kaelan gameplay, finally they are acceptable for me to fight with them. Last KVK I was using Ruby and Frygar, so I'm really excited to try out my Ruby and Kaelan. Of course, I have been saying for a while, basically since they came out, that they are better than Maggrat and Zayda, and finally I will be able to show you, and after the update, of course, they are way better, right? So here, finally, I will be able to fully try out the G5 Archer gameplay, and yeah, let's see what will be the merits amount for Ruby and Kaelan. What I can say about this hero pair, it's pretty weird, right? It's not only about normal attack damage dealing, it's a perfect hybrid hero pair for archers, right? Because we all know that archers has 2 styles. One is normal attackers and second is skill damage factors, which is basically the rage users. And this hero pair basically has both of them, right? Ruby is more of a normal attacker, also has a rage skill. Kaelan is giving us some nice rage skill buffs like defense penetration and so on. So yeah, I believe this reason why Ruby and Kaelan is getting a lot of merits in open field PvP, because from the both ways how you can actually deal damage as an archer player, you can do it from the both ways, from normal attacks, from rage, from the skill, and of course some counter attack damage. My builds in general for archers are not similar to other people, simply because I'm running for more of a march speed gameplay than anything else, right? I value march speed a lot, and that's why I believe, since we are getting a lot of infantry players who are flying around the battlefield, every single hero which infantry is getting, they are better and better, right, in terms of march speed. So I have no choice with my archer gameplay to just go for the march speed bonuses. That's the reason why I want to have high march speed, because as I said, I like to survive during the fights, and without good march speed, unfortunately, I won't gonna be able to survive with such a lot of amount of cavalry and infantry players, which is really popular in Call of Dragons. So my gameplay is centered around march speed. I can honestly say that's also really true. That's how I have been surviving, that's how I have been moving around the battlefield pretty well. So yeah, if you are going to be archer player, remember that March speed will be your friend for a long time. Let's see, we still don't have infantry from our opponents. Alright, I can see one. Yeah, these have been like a really weird fight, simply because we are way more than our opponents. That's the honest truth. It was easily visible that we would going to win this fight for sure. But yeah, motivation was the first video with City of Moria, which is really exciting, and hopefully when time will pass, when Zone 2 will finally open, we are going to have even more exciting fights with City of Moria, which have been really active. I'm really glad that I joined this competitive alliance. Doc was the one who was choosing the alliance where we would go, and yeah, I'm really happy that we got here. It's really exciting. Of course, we will try our best to win everything what we can from this KVK, and hopefully from every KVK, right? Because that's the reason why we are playing this game, especially for my group. We are basically only fighters. We just try to fight all the time. So yeah, really exciting. Let's see what's gonna happen in the KVK, and especially at the last zone, because last zone should be the most fun. I hope everybody who will be trying to compete for the dragon will be able to access the dragon zone, and there we are going to have a lot of live streams and a lot of fun activities for our game. Now yeah, Ruby and Kaelan is half HP, which is normal in my eyes because we don't have a lot of healing yet. I'm still collecting Yggdra crystals in order for me to get the advanced chain strike. So let's see, right? So yeah, we are basically trying to get back and allow our opponents to join the fight, but I'm not really sure how that is going to happen, right? Because they are really low. They are not even trying. That's the key. They are not even... Maybe that's their maximum, who knows? Maybe it's their downtime, but what we can see here is that they are really low amount of troops, so I guess we kinda have to help them, or... yeah. Nice. Some infantry. I just saw a blink effect there. Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw something. That's why I was maybe finding some cavalry player who wants to jump in. But yeah, I think that was their maximum in terms of infantry. They are not really going to go all in for this statue. Maybe they are saving for the Zone 2, but Zone 2 will be happening in like 4 days. I'm pretty sure 4 days will be enough for them to actually... Alright. This might be it. Yeah. Let's... Alright, wait. We might get some... Yeah. That will be it, I think. So yeah, let's check out our hospital, and then let's check out 93k troops. We just lost 93k troops. So this is the reports which we got. Of course, we still have some troops with Ruby and Kaelan. That's why we have only like almost 25k merits, but full fight with Maggrat and Zayda, 57k. These are the reports, other reports which you are seeing around the statue area where we were fighting. But yeah, I think we are starting the journey with the City of Moria in a good note. Our first victory, which have been really easy, I will be honest. And yeah, as always, if you liked the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye and good luck.